I know you always film it this way, but first thing we usually do is remove the transmission so we can do the clutch. And OEM clutch in there?
Yeah. So it's real clean too. So yeah. It might not have any miles on it.
Nice. I think the car has 41,000, so it's probably the original clutch. Trying to remember to record again. I'm still getting over being sick. Last week I didn't record much at all because I was just trying to stay alive basically. This is a 2000 here for a complete supercharger kit, and he's getting the clutch. It already has the AP1 flywheel, which is our preferred flywheel. He asked us if we should change the flywheel, and I said no, I'm not going to try to upsell you. The AP1 flywheel is my favorite. The Clutch Masters is the closest one to that, so that's the second. But AP1's that has the good flywheel, so we're not going to upsell you on a flywheel. We're just going to resurface the one that comes in the car. So this has to be the mintest spark plug cover ever. Look at this. Look at that. I'm not even going to touch it. That is so nice. We will change the bolts out, put stainless bolts. So the question is, what color do we paint these? White. For, even though this car has low mileage, it's in the 40,000 mile range. The serpentine belt is the factory one, so it is 18 years old. Well, it sits behind the supercharger belt, as you see. You see the cogged belt here. That is a supercharger belt. You see down there. And that belt is going to sit here. So to change that, the supercharger has to be removed to change that belt. So it's a good idea to do it now, and we pretty much make it a rule of thumb, unless the belt is a really low mileage belt and a fairly new belt, or it looks evidence as to be replaced, we put a new belt on there. So the brackets are on, the reservoir is on, the cooler is already hooked up, and then of course over here the intercooler. He's chose the black kit, hence the intercooler is black, which means the blower is going to be black as well. And that means the piping, you've seen us in the past, we kind of come up with our own idea of what color piping we should do. Well, I'm thinking to match it, and we're doing a catch can as well. I think it'd be a great time to match the pipe to make it satin black. Beautiful day in Florida. Turn it so you can see me. There we go. This is what we call Florida snow. So, you've seen us talk about this. Do you want me to describe it or just show you it? So, we don't need this. When we do need this, we put it on the back side, so when you look at it, it looks cleaner. This is a white car, and the blower is going to be black, the intercooler is black, and the catch can is going to be black. So I'm thinking, do the pipe black. Alright, so supercharger is on. One thing to note, this is the larger unit. This is the C3892, which means it has the bigger inlet. We'll show you that in a minute. We actually have a different size tube for this with a different size filter. It's actually an offset filter we found that fits this the best. I'll show you that here in a minute. And one other thing we are adding to the list is it's getting a new soft top. Even though it is in really good shape and the back window is surprisingly clear, actually looks like it's an aftermarket top, but it's in really good shape. Well, he's opted for the new one. Of course, you've seen our videos. We only offer the OEM Honda top, which is right here. Just so I have to come in on Delta. But this is what the soft top looks like. And again, we choose this over any of the aftermarket ones because it looks the best, fits the best, everything lines up, it operates correctly, it's the right fabric. It's the one that Honda choose for your car. So I've shown you this before. We take the seats out of here, just gives us more room, makes it a little easier. And this one is really clean. It's got a couple of amplifiers under the seat there. But we're going to take these panels off and then take the soft top out. I left the bolts over there, right?
Yeah, they're over here. Hey.
Okay.
We're LHT
look at
family,
that.
right?
Look at that, nice.
Look at that.
I can't even see it. What does it say?
To LHT family, thanks for everything.
Oh, fantastic.
Little Panera, little Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that is so awesome.
It's awesome, thank you.
Thanks. Oh, we'll have to go tell Lester. Cool. That's always a nice surprise.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, I don't even know why I came over here. I came to ask you something.
Well, we want to make sure the bolts were still in here because you left the other two by the other
Ah, okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't lose them. That's it. Now it's a Roadster.
Yeah. Now you just got to get these panels out.
Yeah. You like our little compartment? This is something George put together forever. It's just a nice visual so you can look every screw that comes out and you know that every one of them goes back.
Exactly.
These have been taken apart at some point. Just wanted advice, never take these apart. These are a one-time deal clip. They never go back together.
Hey, check this out. There's another gift card in the trunk.
Wow, look at that.
Taped to the CD player.
What, does that mean the CD player comes with it?
Maybe.
That's awful nice. It gives us a CD player. This is actually cool. It's got a rack.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these.
No, that's a good idea. I remember, it's a Honda CD player too.
Keep you from smashing it.
Yeah, I remember having one of those Pioneer CD changes in my CRX back in the day.
Yeah.
I was always paranoid about putting anything on it or something in the trunk damaging it. That is fantastic. Thanks so much. That is much appreciated. Thank you. So if you've watched any of our videos, you will always see me raving about this pump. This is, of course, the Walbro GSS 342. This is my favorite pump. It's the pump that made 647 horsepower on my Integra Type R. How did I do it? I ran 14.5 volts to it and the pump didn't like it, but it made the power.
Disclaimer, big relay tied to the back of the alternator, big gauge wire, as much as you could push that fuel pump.
Yeah, don't do this at home. Don't do it safe. I mean, this was back in 2004 when I didn't know, well, there wasn't really many pumps available. So that's the pump we use. It is still raining, by the way. Look at this. Florida is a beautiful place until it rains. So the elastic that goes between here, we always replace it with a soft top. This always gets fatigued, so this bar no longer has tension on it. And they're riveted here, so the way to do this is to take the rivets out, cut the new elastic, and we actually burn the holes here so it doesn't fray, and then we put it back with the new piece. So I'm going to show you what we do for the holes in these. Obviously there is rivets go through here, but you don't want to use a drill bit. I've seen people put a screwdriver through here and poke it, but you fray it and often the elastic will fray and then it'll split down here. You don't want to do that. What I do is, this is the template that we use. This is actually what rivets over here. It actually goes on the elastic. And the way it goes is it's folded over, and you want to make this just a little bit bigger than the clamp itself. And I've actually designated a soldering iron to do this. This is a smaller iron with the right size tip. We don't use it for wire anymore, obviously, because it contaminates the end. But keep your fingers clear. Right through here. Run it back and forth a couple of times. Just make sure it's a nice clean hole. Don't burn your finger on it. Don't breathe that in. So now it's got nice holes and they're smooth, they're not gonna fray. So when your rivet goes on there and it pulls on this, it's not gonna fall apart. I'm gonna do that on both ends, and there's two elastic pieces. It's unbelievable, and even though we drain all the gas out of the whole sending unit, it doesn't matter what happens, this thing produces fuel. So what we're trying to say is, even when your gas gauge is on empty, this thing holds about 4 gallons. So don't trust it. Even when this is all the way down to the bottom, this is obviously what is connected to your gas gauge, by the way. It's known as your sending unit. Even when that's all the way down, there is still a mysterious amount of fuel in there, which this usually goes down my leg. This is what I use to soak that up, is my leg and my pocket. So that's where the new pump sits. That's the old S2000 pump. It's the exact same size. Yep, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
You hear it?
I do.
Again, it's not like we're surprised that it works, but one of us once forgot to plug the fuel pump in before we put it all back together. Don't know who that was. So these are rivet gun we have had for, since my knowledge, at least 96. So these are old and have served as well, and what sucks is they just broke. They just broke today doing that top. So these are the replacement. They look fancy. So I feel like I gotta give these a proper burial. It kind of sucks that I gotta say bye-bye to them. But in typical fashion, here's my burial. Bye-bye. Alright, hopefully it's not too bright. You can see me test out our new hot riveters right here. So, soft tops. We get this question all the time, so I'm going to try and answer it again just in case this is the first time you're watching the video. We don't offer an aftermarket top. We don't install them. We don't like them. They don't fit very well. They don't work right. This is one of the key parts of the top. This is what attaches to the body, and the top attaches to this. As you see, there is a slotted hole here that actually attaches to the bolts on the back of the car. These holes right here are where the rivet goes through, so this is actually riveted to the top. This is a brand new on the top. See, it's got the corresponding holes right here. This is the rivet hole. This is the slotted hole that corresponds with that. This is just my experience. I'm not gonna say all brand tops are bad. We've installed a handful and they just don't fit, and I'm not happy the way it fits. And that's, you know, that's my opinion. Somebody will tell you, oh, this works good, I put it on my car, it's good, it fits. That's, again, that's their opinion. The factory hot, this is like, you know, exactly right size. When you put this on, this fits, the holes line up exact when it goes back in the car. You're not stretching the top. Typically one side will be a little bit tight and the other side will be a little bit loose. The OEM one fits on absolutely perfect. Every hole lines up perfect. The top looks beautiful. When it retracts all the way. Some of the aftermarket material is too thick, and when you retract it, it kind of bunches up and it sits higher. And you'll look at it from the side and notice it doesn't sit completely flat. And if you put a tonneau cover on, the tonneau cover doesn't fit. Other thing is, we use these washers. It's got the large head on the washer and then the back end. So this goes together like this. I'll show you this. So we'll line this up right here. I can see it. And that will go right there. You can come over and record it. And then the back end washer goes over here. If you can see that right there. Time to use the new riveters. My rivet is from 1997, broke yesterday.
Did it?
1997.
I'm sorry.
What was you doing back in 1997? But you weren't even driving, was you?
Yeah, I was driving.
These are so much easier. I can do it left-handed. Look at that. They have some kind of mechanical advantage in compared to the other ones. I could do them with my right hand, but the other ones I couldn't do with my left hand. Especially the stainless rivets. They take a lot more work. So, again, next one. What I like about the OEM one, you put this in here and it lines up absolutely perfect. It's kind of like it's made for the car. Look at that, the hole sits absolutely perfect. The rivet goes through. The material is lined up properly. The riveter is left-handed. Yeah, these are far easier to operate than the other ones. couldn't do that with my left hand on the other ones. And you're basically going to put all the rivets in next. Oh, this new Dynasty 210 sure has a fan in it. It's like a small fan in there. You hear that?
Doesn't work all the time either, which is nice. A little loud.
It's quieter than, well, the other one's quiet, but it runs all the time. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'll put it in the cooling chamber.
Yeah, we'll put it in front of the fan if the fan's available.
It is. You want to tell everybody what we call this? What our nickname for this is?
The Diego bracket.
Diego bracket. Hope you're watching, buddy. Alright, we told you so it's not a spoiler. We did the pipes in satin black, which definitely looks good against the black blower and the bracket. The bracket is anodized, the blower's bracket is anodized, so it kind of matches. Plus we did these. This is the bigger tube and the bigger filter. We already told you about that. That's a 92 head unit. So of course the catch can has to go on. We have our own catch can that fits here, and it utilizes this right here. Of course now the LHT blue fluid gets to go in there. Alright, so there's another S2000 completed. Just to give you a quick rundown on this. This is a 2000, so it's an AP1, it's got the 2-liter engine. This has the 92 upgraded supercharger with our larger intake. It has the LHT radiator, LHT catch can, and of course the LHT charge pipes finished in satin black. So it goes with the whole theme, everything looks the same. Of course you saw us do this. This is just a really nice look. I like this combination. It's not too loud, it's not too flashy, but it's got that kind of clean OEM look. And of course you saw this one. Did 434 horsepower. That's with the 92 upgrade. It doesn't have a boost upgrade. And of course it has the Skunk 2 header, which he provided off his other car.
Shows, actually, I don't know if you were going to say that or not. I actually didn't even notice you're recording. This shows the efficiency upgrade in dating the 9192 blower. It's supposed to be at 11%. So this is factory boost. You know, this is not changed pulleys or anything. This is exactly what the 81 would do. So if the 81 does about 400, it's about 435. You know, you're right there in that 11%.
Yeah, typically an AP1, what we see on our dyno, without trying to push it to its limit and do any kind of cheating or cooling the intake manifold, they'll do 390. On a good day, they'll do 410. Today's 88 degrees in here, so yeah, like George says, it just shows you how much more efficient that big a supercharger is. At the same boost level, it's still about 14.5 pounds of boost.